Hello, fabulous Pisces. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of February 2016. General focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Now, before I dive into this month, I do want to say and give you a heads up. Next month is when it's off the hook. So what I mean by that is next month is eclipse season. Eclipse season is happening next month, and there will be an eclipse in your sign. So that is going to be a big game changer for you. I mean, talk about fresh starts all around, in some ways surprisingly so. And of course, I'll be here to talk about it then. And of course, especially in the weekly horoscopes, as we go along week to week, I'll delve into what's taking place in the sky for you. So having said that, I'll be here to talk about it then. But for now, this month still, of course, very important, as any month would be, but in its own unique way. Knowing what's coming up ahead in the bigger picture, knowing that next month is going to lend itself to some jumping off points, some taking off points, if you will, knowing that that's up ahead can motivate you to use this time well. And what's happening this particular month is slowly but surely, there is a party building in the sign just before yours. So one by one, we're going to have Mercury and Venus and the Sun and the new moon all taking place in the sign just before yours, which ultimately is like your house in the sky. It is your comfort zone, if you will. And this tells me a couple of things. One is it's as if the best of you is able to understand what matters and is able to come forward. So that's great. And the best of you really is when you allow your imagination to come forward and you give it voice. That's what's going to be highlighted, particularly at the beginning of the month. I actually think that some really great money-making ideas can find you. Some really great ideas that represent solid steps ahead, career progress as well. But a lot of that is going to come together in your own private time. So whether it is that you choose to just shut the door and spend time on your own and figure out your creative ideas, or whether it is that it's all playing out in your dream space, right? Your dreams likely will get really active and will really provide you with some very strong insights of breakthroughs, and again, particularly of the financial sort. So you do want to watch what is taking place as you're sleeping, because your subconscious is going to be trying to give you all kinds of messages of what direction to go in. We hear a lot of stories about people, creative people of all kinds, of all ilks, who had a dream, right? Like they literally like have a dream and they wake up and they're just so inspired that right away they go and they write it down, or they figure it out, or they put these ideas together, or they create the model, or they draw it, whatever it is for you, right? Whatever that particular vehicle is for your creativity, the greatest ideas for you will come together when it is that you are actually in that dream space, in that quieter space where your own defenses come down, so that you can receive the message. And in some cases, Uranus is involved in this. So in some cases, that message might take you in a very surprising direction, in a whole other direction at that. But I think you can see rightly that there's a lot of financial possibilities in the ideas that you're having now. So nurture them and stay connected to them as a way to move forward. But also there's a real desire with this particular new moon in the early part of the month to make progress of the career kind, to accomplish something that matters to you. This is powerful energy, this is stabilizing energy, and it is part of an ongoing energy that's going to be with you through this year and next year as well, because you've got Saturn at the very top of your sky. So this suggests to me that the ideas, the inspirations, the insights coming forward now are those that can significantly change and significantly benefit your career path now and for at least the coming 2 years. As we move towards the later part of the month, the energy will shift, as it always does, we are going to have a few very interesting things take place. One is the sun visits Neptune. So once every year, annually, the sun and Neptune meet in the sky, and that is happening late this month. And that particular configuration is happening in your sign and is standing across from the full moon that is taking place in the last week of the month. This to me is a very important celestial phenomenon, and I think that this is going to prepare, more than the new moon, will prepare the groundwork for the bright and bold beginnings coming up for you in March. So how do you use this energy? Well, I'll talk about it more in the love focused horoscope, but in a general sense and in general focused horoscope, what this comes down to is really being honest with yourself about who is in your life and who you are aligned with. And especially where it comes to something like money, where it comes to something like business, you've got this blessing happening in your opposite sign with Jupiter moving through there. And then here we have this full moon. To me, as I look at this, in some ways, in some important ways, this is about clearing the way so that, you know, I remember I did a video a while back. You can find it on my YouTube channel, on my website, nadiyashah.com. And it was basically, someone had asked me, like, you know, Jupiter's in my sign. Why am I not benefiting from this already? Why aren't these fabulous things happening to me already? Which sometimes some people say. Well, this is going to be that moment that shows you what needs to clear out so that Jupiter can start blessing your life in all kinds of ways and start bringing people forward who actually do have the real potential to lead you towards greater prosperity, lead you towards greater self-understanding, actually work with you to facilitate the actualization of your goals. So this marks a special time in that you're recognizing who is actually working and what is actually working and what isn't. And how is it that you're going to move forward or not in your professional alliances in particular. So this is an important turning point, and yes, it's possible that there might be a need to, like, you know, as they say, like trim the bonsai, right? To decide that maybe you need to create a little space or a little room here or there, and that ultimately will end up continuing to lead you in a positive direction, in a good direction all around. That will allow Jupiter to really bring in some strong energy and some good energy in the bigger picture of the months ahead. So for now, trust who stays, who goes. Trust if it's not working. Be honest with yourself and understand that you are preparing to launch in new directions. Sometimes, and especially right now, some healthy closures do need to take place. There might be a need for you to just really be honest, whether it's with someone else or with yourself, about where it is that you haven't wanted to be honest because of loyalties or because it was just easier to leave things the way that they are. This ultimately will lead you to a new freedom. It will lead you to connections that are much more genuine and overall much more empowering to you. What I love about this month for you is that preparing the ground, is that clearing space, because it is in that space that the universe will rush in and bless your life with all kinds of wonderful and new things not that far into the future.